Oh, hey everybody, welcome back. There's Maddie and Chelsea. Hey, say hi, Chelsea.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Karen Bonifilio, Inner Realms, Outer Journeys. We got Chelsea on again. But before she talks, I have to tell you something. Uh, Maddie obviously wants to tell you something too.
That's fair. I'm listening.
You know, it was around noon today that I had my turning point, and I'm starting to feel good again.
Good.
Oh, it's nice. I danced, and that's how I knew I was feeling good. And I
Oh,
haven't
there you
danced
go.
for over a week because I have music going all the time.
Hey, I'm glad that Stella found her groove back, so to speak. So.
Stella got her groove.
Yay.
She
Well,
did.
welcome back to the living.
Thank you. And hi, everybody. For those of you that don't know Chelsea, I'm going to let her introduce herself before we get started.
So, hello, everyone. And thank you, Karen, for the warm welcome. So, my name is Chelsea Anderson. I am an evidential psychic medium. And part of my journey has been helping people heal in whatever capacity that looks like, right? I always tell folks that the body of work that I do as a psychic medium, and this is my belief, so I'm not saying this is every medium's belief system, is the work that I do is to provide evidence that there's life after life. Right. So I'll do that through validation, connecting with loved ones, bringing forward information that in theory, I shouldn't know about your loved ones. So with that, I always tell folks that the body of work that I do is A, to provide evidence, but B, this should be used in conjunction with therapy. This is not to replace therapy or to say that, my modality is better than therapy. I always tell folks the more help you can get with your grieving and healing process, the better. But my intention for today is to take questions live from folks, whether that's a psychic question. Psychic question is more of like reading what's in your aura, figuring out what's coming down the pike for you. Excuse me. And then mediumship. When I'm doing a show like this, where I'm talking and working really quickly, I usually do what I've stole this phrase from one of my very best friends, who's an amazing medium, and he calls it drive-through mediumship. And so kind of like how, you want to go to McDonald's, right? You're like, hey, I'll take a Big Mac with medium fries and a Coke, right? What I'm going to do is if you want to talk to a loved one, pull up your question and say, I'd like to hear about this, or I have this situation I want to run by dad or by mom. I would like her opinion, my spouse, my sibling, etc. I apologize.
Take a drink. Take a drink.
I'll drink in my throat or something. So with that, the drive-through mediumship should be pretty quick in nature. I'm going to try to get to as many people as we can, but I at least would like to run by and channel for a few people and either answer questions, have an opportunity for someone to bridge a gap who maybe might not be able to afford to have a reading. But to that point, I did want to let people know in advance that I am offering a promotion for those who are here today, or if you're here and want to pass it along to a friend, I am offering $50 off any 1 hour reading on my website, mediumchelsea.com. That was off, mediumchelsea.com. And then you'll use the coupon code GHOST in all caps, GHOST. So there we go. There's my introduction for today.
You did awesome. I'm so proud of you.
I can see it. Yay.
$50 off is a big chunk of change. So I want to thank you for doing that.
Of course. My pleasure.
Yeah. She does some other things too. Chelsea, mention real quickly your monthly thing, please.
Oh, so I have a monthly subscription group. It's $25 a month. And then you have the ability to ask either one psychic related question. So it could be like, hey, I'm getting ready to retire next month. Should I cash out my IRA or should I leave it for the rest of the year? Right. That's a perfectly great example of a question for a psychic related question. And so in the subscription group, you can ask. I go live every Sunday. And I'll either pull cards with a message for you, or I'll answer one question, but every week you're guaranteed a reading for $25. There's no contract. You can do it month to month, but it's been something that I've had that group for, God, I think I'm going into like my 8th year now of having that. And so it's a really great group of people. It's in a private Facebook group, so you can ask private or personal questions without it being blasted in a public space. I typically allow only a handful of people in there. So some folks, sometimes I will take new people. Right now, I would be willing to have a few new people come into the group, but it's a really fun group of people. I'll also do like mini classes that people can take sometimes. I'll also do different types of readings, like a chakra reading or an angel number reading. So it just kind of depends on the flavor, the mood, if I want to shake things up. And then if I ever get like a new card deck, let's say, so my latest, I don't have it out here, but I have one of my newer card decks is like Flowers of the Night Oracle and the Soul Flower Oracle. So whenever I get a new deck of cards, I use that group as a great opportunity to experiment and kind of guinea pig with folks so that they can help me try out my new cards. So I always try to keep things lively.
Hey, Vivian, you would relate to her.
Oh gosh.
Very, very, very awesomely.
I feel bad for Vivian if she relates to me. I'm wacky. So
I love craziness. I love it. You know, that's my nickname, Crazy Woman. So anyway, that monthly thing is really cool. $25 for you.
Yeah, and you've been a part of it. So you're speaking from personal experience.
Yeah. And I heard all about Wagyu beef.
Yes, you
did. I love her personality too. Vivian would like to hear from her mother.
Okay.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here, and I'm trying to write down your questions as they go by.
Yeah, questions help. I always tell people vague questions get vague answers. Specific questions get specific answers. So I always tell folks, if you do have a question, try to get as specific as you can. If you just say, read me, then I'll just read what I get. It may not be what you want to talk about, but it's what Spirit shows me. So let's start with Vivian. Okay. Now with the mother, there's a couple things already. So the first is she's already putting pressure on my chest and like I'm having a hard time breathing. And so, but it's weird because I also feel like I'm having a problem swallowing. So we understand where your mother would have had issues with either the breathing. And I realize when people are passing, yes, they have breathing issues, but this feels like she would have either passed from the chest or she would have had issues with that. And I don't know if she, because sometimes when people have a stroke, they have a hard time swallowing. So I don't know if she would have had a stroke or we'd understand where like the throat would have also been affected. So if you could please validate that, that would be great. In the meantime, I'll keep going with what I'm picking up on. Now, the other thing with your mom too is that she keeps talking about we would have been unsatisfied with either the ending or to where we didn't get to say goodbye the way we wanted to. We felt like the door was closed too soon. And so to that point, it doesn't mean you guys were bickering. That's not what this feels like. To me, this comes across as more of like either we didn't get to say proper goodbyes or something of that nature. Okay, she died from pneumonia. Perfect. So that's the lungs for me.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. So, because I can keep track of that as well. Now, the other thing too with her is that she does talk about her passing would have been tied to either near a birthday or holiday. Because when Spirit taps the calendar twice for me, that's my sign that either they passed within 2 weeks of a major birthday, anniversary, or holiday. And it could be 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. So if you would understand that connection as well, because she does make me feel like there would be a normally around the time of her passing would either be a time of celebration, something where we would want to be joyous, be happy, and that not that she purposely tried to die or pass during that time, but would you, that's the dissatisfaction. She passed when you were in another country. Okay. Cause it was a weird thing to say being unsatisfied with how the passing went. Now, I want to come back to that, but let me finish this thought real quick. When it comes to her and the not being able to say goodbye, when she's talking about the dissatisfaction, this is not on her end, meaning she's not upset with you. She's not disappointed. She's not frustrated. More of she's just relaying your thoughts or your regrets or your feelings that would be tied to her passing. And here's the other thing too, is she's mentioning that now you already told me she passed from pneumonia, but she's talking about that when she wasn't physically doing well and you already had this trip planned, she alludes to it would not have been something where she was in bad enough shape where you would have canceled your trip or even thought that this would have been her time to go. And I hope that makes sense. But the way that she's coming through is she would not have wanted you to cancel your plans, alter your life, or change anything about the situation. When Spirit goes like this, it means hands being tied. And so to that point, she's saying our hands are tied. There was nothing that we could do about the situation. And I don't know if you're struggling with, and I realize some people have regrets or burdens, but she makes me, she wouldn't bring this up if this wasn't something she was trying to help you release. Meaning if you still have hangups, frustrations, regrets around making that trip, not being able to be there for your mom, she's trying to release that burden for you. So she just wants you to be able to find the peace in the situation. It is what it is. It was not ideal, maybe not what anybody in the situation wanted, but she's not upset about it. And she wants you to release any feelings or of ill will towards yourself or regret or frustrations that may be tied to that. Here's the deal. To your comment about choosing your husband.
Thank you.
Here's the deal.
Thank you.
She's taking a step back with that situation because when spirit crosses to the other side, right, they don't have ego anymore, typically, right? There may be some people that really hold on to it for a while, but not this in this case. When we get to the other side, we sit in a place of joy, bliss, happiness, contentment, understanding. So now that she's crossed, she realizes that for you, you were blind to color or culture or anything of that nature. And I'm even going to go as far as saying that was actually one of the things you liked about your husband was he was from a different culture or had a different heritage. And because that fascinates you, and this is what she's telling me too, is that I don't know if you have like a need to travel or a need for exploring different like civilizations and cultures. And I wouldn't doubt if there's like a 7 in your numerology chart, because that's typically that number that likes to learn about like how people tick and how people operate. And they're really curious, right? And or 5 in your chart too, because they're usually the ones that are the travelers. But I digress. To that point, she just wants to I don't know if I'd use the word recant, but state her sincerest regrets for making you uncomfortable with your choice, that at the end of the day, she says it's the right choice for you. I couldn't see it as the right choice. And so she just wants to release you of any frustrations that you may have towards her. Right? Because sometimes people will hold a grudge. I would never hold a grudge. No, kidding. Hold a grudge, crazy. So, but here's the thing is that she doesn't have those same feelings, and she has a lot of clarity on the other side because she's able to see that at the end of the day, this was not about color, skin, culture, language barrier, nothing like that. This was truly about love, as it should be. And now that she sits in a space of bliss and love and contentment, she can see that more clearly. So just know that she's asking humbly for your forgiveness. But again, forgiveness isn't for them. Forgiveness is for you so that you don't carry anything. So hopefully that makes sense and resonates. But Mom came through hopefully loud and clear enough for you.
I think so. I think Vivian's pretty happy. I think we're having some technical difficulties, but just join whenever you can. And hi, Chris. Jasmine just said any message that you have for her.
Here's the thing. Vague questions get vague answers. So I'll write down Jasmine. The first thing that I heard immediately as soon as I connected to your name was don't sell yourself short. The other thing too is that, because this feels like a value statement to me. So don't sell yourself short, but at the same time, and I'm going to even go as far as like, this is either, I'm going to say this feels relationship related as opposed to career. Sometimes we would think, oh, don't sell yourself short and take an offer that's not good enough for a job. I don't know if I feel this is job related. This almost feels relationship related. So either we're dating someone that's not at our caliber, or we're married to someone who's not giving us proper treatment, but we're treating them better than what we're receiving. But that's just the initial message that I got when you said, I would like a message, was don't sell yourself short. And this is a opportunity for you to kind of take a review and almost like an internal kind of inventory about, am I letting people treat me this way, or am I commanding respect? Right? Am I letting people walk all over me? Because some people get walked all over and it's because they've allowed it to happen. Other times it's because they just have really domineering personalities in their life. But to me, I feel like this is an opportunity to kind of re-examine your place in the world and how you view yourself in that world, if that makes sense.
That's beautiful. That's really cool. Okay, I can answer this one, but it's for you, Chelsea.
Okay.
Rose would like to know if her mom and dad are proud of her.
Okay. So now here's the thing. I always, I can always admire someone who wants to know this question from their loved ones who are departed. And it's tough because at the end of the day, our loved ones do love us and they are immensely proud of us, but maybe we didn't get that feedback, right? In the physical world, or we had a tough dad that wasn't super emotional, or a tough cookie mom, right? What I heard though with your parents, now mom, she's very high energy. So like she's like jumping up and down and clapping. And so I don't know if that would have been her personality, but she's super high energy. Your dad is much more low key and toned down. But to the point of asking if they're proud of you, the answer is, of course they are. But I'm going to support that statement by saying they're showing my sign for like adversity and trials and tribulations, and then my sign for like hard, diligent work. So I don't know if like you went to school for a really long time, or maybe you built a company from the ground up, but this isn't like I applied at a job and I just got a promotion, right? This feels way more in depth and way more involved in that. And so to that point, usually when I see someone like going like hats off to someone, it usually means that they've done or pushed themselves significantly harder than maybe like the average situation. So I hope that makes sense and I hope that resonates. But yes, they absolutely are. Would you also understand with them? I saw boom, boom. Did they pass close together, or did one of them pass, really closely to someone else? And what I mean by that is like whenever they go like boom, boom, it means we weren't even finished grieving and then someone else in the family died, or maybe another individual died and then your mom or another. But I'm seeing it like boom, boom, like you would have had two passings really close back to back. And one, it might have been your parents, or it might have been like one of your parents with another friend or family or something of that nature. You're welcome, Jasmine. I'm glad that resonated. But Rose, I hope that makes sense. And I'm wondering where the close passings are, but kind of a funky situation. So.
Okay. I don't know how to say this gal's last name. I think it's Italian. And it's her name is Mary, or Mari, Mari.
Okay.
Cartagenova? I don't know. And she's a medium, Chelsea. And
okay.
she just wants to know, if you got anything for her.
Okay, we're just doing a vague reading.
Gets vague answers.
Okay, we'll see how it
goes. I think you're doing pretty good with your vague answers.
I like to be more specific, but that's just that comes down to my work ethic and
okay. They're coming. I'm writing them down.
No, you're fine. So what was interesting is, Amari, the first thing that Spirit had me write down as I was kind of writing your name and tuning in, they had me write shift upcoming. So when I see something like that, that would be an indicator that something is coming down the pike where we're going to have to make choices and decisions in order to go along with the shift. And so when I see that, it means the presentation of the opportunity is not something where you're going to be able, because some decisions, right? You can go, oh, I know I need to do this, but I'm going to put it off for 3 months. I'm going to put it off for 6 months. This shift is something that's going to be swift, and it's something that we're going to have to deal with or adjust with in the moment. This is not something that you're going to be able to put off down the road, even waiting a few weeks or a few months. I feel like this is like a quick thing. The other thing too is that I saw my sign for like, now I don't know what kind of psychic or mediumship work that you do, but I don't know if you've considered adding like an extra modality to the work you do. And what I mean by that is, so like I see a lot of clients for psychic and mediumship work, but I also do numerology charts. I also do life coaching. So I do a lot of different things. And so to me, those are different modalities. And so I don't know if you were considering like adding something new to kind of your repertoire or kind of to the nature of the body of work that you do, but I'm also seeing, I just saw thumbs up with that. So that could be something down the pike where maybe it's a year down the road before you're even thinking of including that. It was just something that I saw. So shift upcoming. The other thing too is that if you're considering adding a modality to the spirit work that you do, it's okay to do so. Hopefully that makes sense.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Her parents passed 13 months apart for Rose. Okay. That makes sense. So yay. Thank you for that validation. I appreciate
it. Michelle Rose would just love to hear from her loved ones.
Okay. In this case, because we're doing drive-through, I would like a specific loved one.
Yeah,
so if she can come back. Is there another question and we can come back to Michelle?
Yeah. Krish wants to hear from her auntie Trace. I wrote it down really fast, Krish.
Nope.
Treza.
Okay. So here's the thing. This auntie I don't know if, because she came through with a really strong personality. She does not come across as someone who would have been shy. I'm not going to say obnoxious, but certainly a chatty personality. The other thing, too, I'm seeing is when I see the sign for mom, but like I see the number 2, it usually means like we either would have looked at this person as like a backup mom or a bonus mom. Now, whether you were either raised by her or maybe you just spent every summer with her or we had a lot of regular exposure, I'm just seeing my sign like when she's initially presenting and stepping forward. This does, and it does not feel like a typical aunt situation. And what I mean by that is like I only have one aunt and I only see her at the holidays. That's it. So I see her like twice a year at most, right? And so to that, this feels way more than that. Like you guys would have had a closer relationship of that nature. Okay. And so when it comes to your auntie, the other thing too is that she would have passed from multiple health issues, because whenever spirit goes like this and taps the body with the number 2, it means like physically I had more than 2 things going on or things of that nature. Or if let's say she would have had cancer, it would have been in multiple body parts, something of that nature. So she was your second mom. Perfect. I love that. Okay. So she's also I'm going to say like a silly personality, because like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Forrest Gump, but she's doing kind of his funny wave like that. And so she's just really excitable and she's just a fun personality. The other thing too is that I don't know if we would understand, because she's making me feel dizzy, but I don't feel like it's like usually when I feel that, it means that spirit would have passed from like stroke, Alzheimer's, dementia, something of the head. I don't know if I feel that. I feel like that might have been one of the many things wrong with her. Oh, she had cancer. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I just feel like she didn't pass from the head, but the dizziness felt like either hospice or that she was on really good pain meds in the end, as far as like pain management. And that's what this felt like, not like a stroke or so. I'm glad. Thank you for validating that for me. But she just wants to acknowledge, thank you for allowing her to pass with dignity and grace. She says that she didn't want any pity from people. And even though this was something that she battled, and the other thing too is that would she have battled it more than once, whether it was a different type of cancer or it was something where like maybe she beat it and then it came back a year later. But I'm seeing my sign for like multiple hills that we had to climb. And usually that means like either the cancer came back or it would have started in the lungs, went away, and then came back in the liver or something of that nature. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping that makes sense. But to that point though, for her, it was a very big deal to pass with dignity and grace, and not because she was like an overly like proud or cared what people thought of her, but more of she just didn't want the sadness. She didn't want the tears. She just wanted everyone to rally for her. And that's what she got. And so she's just saying thank you for that.
You know, I told my kids when I die, I want you to go out and have pizza and beer. You know, I don't want, you know, any sadness. I'm going to be so dang happy and play Freebird and listen to it and sing it.
There we go. I come from a big gambling family. And so after my grandpa died, in his honor, we all went to the casino and partied.
Good.
That's what we do. You got to do what you got to do to honor your loved ones, especially with their preferences. So there you go. So when you go 30 years from now, really, really, really old, like 100, then
I'm going at 95, Chelsea.
There you go.
I have been told I'm going at 95 from someone who has prophecy.
You have a lot of time. So when that happens, I'll have some pizza and beer for you.
Please do. Please do.
Oh, she had very low blood pressure, dizzy often. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Krish, she didn't want tears.
Great. Thank you, Krish, for that validation. I appreciate it. But she's with you. So I'm glad that resonated with you. But she's with you. Bug your loved ones. I always tell people.
Okay. Evelyn is having a surgical procedure next month. I'm just kind of curious how it's going to go.
Okay. Good question. Give me a hot second.
She likes the questions, you guys. Don't be vague.
Okay, so a couple of things. When it comes to the procedure, I'm going to say this does not feel like we're just having a wart removed or a mole removed. This feels a little bigger than that. And I'm even going to say as far as something where it would either be a really long surgery or a really long recovery. One of the two, might even be both. But to me, this feels a little more serious than just like a little skin tag or we're just, doing a little biopsy. That this feels pretty intense. To that point, I am being told everything's going to be okay. But why do I go back to, I don't know if it's something with the spine or if you have spinal issues, but that was the other thing that I just went to. So, but I digress. So I'm hoping that resonates or makes sense. But with that, I'm being told, take care of yourself and slow down, because I do feel that this, like, let's say they told you a 4-week recovery. I think this is going to be a little longer than that, maybe more like a 6-week or 8-week recovery. So that's the other thing too I'm hearing is, and I don't know if you're the type, Evelyn, to like push through or push yourself to do things. Like I'm the type where even if my arm was cut off, I'd still be trying to find a way to cook and get things done, with my arm cut off, right? And so I'm being told that like you would be that same kind of personality where you're like, I'm in pain, but it's fine. I got it. I'm being told, don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm being told you actually need to pull back, take more time to rest, because I would hate for you to add to your recovery sentence, so to speak, by adding a couple extra weeks because you push yourself so hard.
Fistula for dialysis.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I know you have a spine. I hope you do.
I think she's meaning something else, Chelsea, when she says that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh my God. Okay.
But hopefully that helps. But please take your time, Evelyn, with recovery. Don't rush this one, I'm hearing.
Mish would like to hear from her parents.
Okay. Now this is interesting because with who was it? Someone asking if their mom and dad were proud. And I was like, yeah, they had back-to-back passings. That's not what Mish's parents feel like. Mish feels like parents were far apart. So whether one passed and it was like another decade or 10 years before the other one passed, but to that point, that's what this feels like. And so I feel like we had pretty big distances or big gaps in time when it comes to your parents passing. And then the other thing too, I'd be kind of curious about was if dad passed first, because I think I've got dad trying to come through first. And sometimes the parent that's been gone longer tries to jump through first, but I'd be curious about the order of operations there. 18 months apart.
18
okay.
months.
Oh, geez. No, that's not far at all.
That's not that long.
No, then I've got them coming through with somebody else, or I'm just channeling someone else. There's someone who has both parents on the other side, and it's someone in here. Because sometimes when I do spirit-led readings, I'm like, let me just throw this out there. I've got 2 parents that are trying to come through, and they would have passed like at least a decade apart. It would have been a significant gap in time. So, but I'd be super curious if they would come through. The other thing too is that I would go ahead and go as far as saying the father would have had a military connection for these parents that are apart. So I'm curious if anyone would align with that. I'll leave it for right now and we'll see if it comes back. But Mish, back to your parents. Now, oh goodness. I need to understand this. Were you, I don't know if you were in charge of either their caretaking or after they passed, if you would have been in charge of either delegating out their possessions, making sure that the will or the actions were fulfilled in their name or in their honor. But I am being told thank you, because they are indicating that you would have put in a lot of energy and a lot of work leading up to their passing and then also after their passing. Now, I'm not saying you didn't have other family members. You very well could have had other family that could have chipped in. But I do feel like you would have either been the one who was either trying to corral everyone, make all the appointments, get things kind of lined up, where you would have had maybe other siblings that would have jumped in. Okay, you were overridden. Because here's the thing. Your parents are, let me be careful how I say this, they're safe and at peace, but they are frustrated with this situation because of the fact that you were kind of walked on just a little bit with the situation. And at the end of the day too, they're also saying that you were trying to do things by the book versus I feel like your either other 2 family members, siblings, whoever these were in connection, they would not have wanted to do things by the book. They would have wanted to do things either their way or their way maybe that was more convenient for them, what have you. So your parents are not upset about that. They're more frustrated on the account of you having to put up with that, because on top of grieving and dealing with their stuff, you're also trying to deal with people who are being combative or who are being argumental, and that's a lot. And so to that point, they just wanted to say thank you. They're glad that you kind of made it through that tough point. The other thing too is that I don't know, just one? Okay. I don't know if you pulled away from one of those 2 family members, meaning to where you would have put some distance because of the fact that either the relationship was unhealthy after parents passing. I don't feel it was both that we backed away from, but I do feel there would have been, because Spirit corrected me when I asked them. I was like, did they walk away from both? And they said just one. All of them. Okay. I'm curious if one of them still tries to reach out, or if one of them, because they made me feel like there was a hard cutoff with one for sure. But they would also allude to that either one is still trying to get back in your good graces, or maybe still trying to reach out. But I definitely feel like one is completely out of the picture. So hopefully that resonates and makes sense. But to that point, I'll leave it with, when it comes to the efforts that you put in on their behalf, they're appreciative of everything you did, even if it wasn't exactly what they wanted or what they envisioned. They know that you tried to do things and honor the way that they requested them to be done, as close to the book as possible. And that's what they're appreciative of. Okay. Tanya, right out with the great grandparents passing apart, military. Close, but I
not feeling it.
If this was yoga, I'd say that's a good stretch. But I don't think that's where we're going with this.
Okay. You doing okay, Chess?
I'm fine.
Okay. Helen Mansell would love a message from loved ones in spirit about her son, Samuel Harvey's achievements. Sorry. I came home with a cold from the hospital, you guys.
Okay. So let's see here. Now, Helen, I don't know. There's a female that steps forward for you, but I'll be honest, this doesn't feel like a mom or a grandmother, because she comes and stands at your side. When I see someone come and stand at someone's side, it is typically either a sister, a friend, cousin. It'd be someone that would be considered a contemporary to us. And so, and I'll be quite honest, I don't even know. I'm not positive it's a sister. I'm not even feeling that. So I don't know if we'd have a friend on the other side that would have been involved in Samuel's life, or that would have been someone that would have known him for, so my mom has best friends that I call aunties, even though there's no blood relation. So I don't know if we would have an auntie figure on the other side for Samuel, or if it would actually be his aunt. But I'm super curious about that one. And if you could answer that, Helen. But as to Samuel's achievements, I'm going to say what I heard. They said 2 working on 3. So I don't know if this would be where maybe they have 2 degrees, they're working on a 3rd, right? Or if they finished school and now they're working on a residency or something of that nature, but to where the 3rd thing isn't completed. So I'm really kind of curious what this 2, but not quite 3 is. Helen, you have close friends in spirit. Okay. As long as you would understand that, because like I said, this felt like someone who would have been either in Samuel's life or would at least know Samuel. The other thing too is that I'm curious about the 2. So if you can answer that about the 2 achievements, working on the 3rd, or the 3rd one's almost wrapped up, something along those lines. And I have to ask too, is I'm seeing my sign for award. So I don't know if Samuel would have either, and to me, an award could be got on the dean's list. Maybe they cured cancer, right? Pulitzer Prize winner. I don't think it's that big or grand, but would we understand where he would have either had a status achievement or an award also through this process that he had? If you could validate that, that would be great as well. But to that point, kind of taking a step back, I do feel that you've got several people on the other side that are championing, there we go, that's the word, for your son. And to that point, they're just saying, keep going. And so when I see keep going, to me, that means either see things through to the finish line, don't quit early, don't tap out too soon. And so again, I go back to that. If he's in the middle of getting ready to accomplish something else, or something else is on the way, or what have you, to see things through to the end. Hopefully that makes sense.
She'll chime in.
Yep.
And everybody's really impressed with you, Chelsea. Everybody thinks you're amazing, which I already know that.
I'm just me.
and that's what we love about you. You're just you. And she's bam, 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 bam. And you guys, thank you for sending me healing energy and stuff about my cold. But I will take this cold over having sepsis or having a perforation in my colon. So if that's all that I came out of the hospital with, then that's okay.
Do
Yeah.
you mind if I feel drawn to answer someone's question in here? I'm not
Okay,
trying to skip
no,
the
do it.
process, but I'd like to answer because this is an educational question. I think a lot of people could benefit. So Jeanette Dow asked, why does my closest relative, my granny, never come through to me from the spirit world? I miss her so much. Was that
That's
your
my
next?
next question.
Perfect. It's been nearly 40 years, but never gave the reassurance for me that life goes on. So here's the thing, right? Is sometimes, and by coming through, I don't know if you mean like, because sometimes I just had a client a couple weeks ago where they were like, I've had many mediumship readings. My sister's never come through, never once, never shows up. And she showed up in this particular reading. And what I tell people is when I read people, so I can't speak to other mediums, I'm just speaking from my lens and my experiences. When I read for someone, I always tell folks spirit comes through in the order of importance, right? So you don't hear from your childhood mailman or a neighbor unless they were for some reason really important to you, right? Sometimes what happens though, and I'm not saying your granny isn't important, but sometimes in a mediumship reading, people go with the personalities that maybe are stronger or they feel like they have a better connection to, right? Now, if you're meaning your granny's ability to connect with you either through dreams or through actual visitations, again, that's kind of a subjective topic. I tend to find that when we have dreams of loved ones, the people who come to me and go, I never dream of my loved ones, no one's ever come through, typically all have sleeping problems. And so my theory, again, not a scientist, not a guru or anything like that. My theory is that if we are someone who can't get into that same like mental space as far as from a brainwave perspective, where we get into that deep REM sleep, if we have a difficult time, that's really where spirit can connect with us, is in the theta brainwave state. And so to that point, if we can't ever get there, we aren't able to sit in that brainwave space where our loved ones can visit us and kind of make those appearances at night. So I always tell folks, that's like my first question when people are like, why hasn't my loved one visited me? I'm like, how is your sleeping habits? And 9 times out of 10, people will say, I never sleep. I'm a terrible sleeper. I have a hard time falling asleep, staying asleep. It's just been this pattern that I've seen over the years. The people who get the visitations from loved ones, out of curiosity, I'll say, how do you sleep? Oh, like a rock, like a log. You couldn't wake the dead when I'm asleep, right? I sleep through anything. So I've seen this pattern over, because I've been doing this for 17 years and I've seen this pattern recur all the time consistently. So for me, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck. So I don't know, Jeanette, with your question, which direction you were trying to go, whether her visiting you in dreams or through a medium. I can only speak to those 2 instances just from my experience. So hopefully that helps dispel some questions that you have, as well as other people who are watching today.
I want to interject a little bit too, about if you need sleep and if it's legal in your area, get some gummies. They work quite nicely. Gummies are really nice.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, aren't they? And
Cool
then
is one word.
I enjoy them. I'm a child from the sex, drugs, and rock and roll era, so I like gummies and I like to get high off them when I go to sleep.
There you go.
Also, I keep my phone by my bed. And if I wake up from a dream, I will record and put it back down. And because you are not going to remember anything the next day. And it's amazing, all the visitations and all the messages that you get. Trust me on that one. Yeah, it works.
Oh, very cool. Helen got back. Oh, I love that. About to finish the uni degree.
And open her third eye. That hasn't happened to me. And you guys are all welcome. I'm glad that you're enjoying Chelsea. She's been on like 3,000 times. I'm sorry you missed her.
More like 3, but I'll take 3,000. I love Vivian's question. That's a really good one. So oddly enough for me, I'm an earth sign, as Karen also is. I'm a Taurus. And so you're not a Taurus, you're a Virgo, but you're still an earth sign. To that point, I'm already a pretty grounded personality, even though I'm a spastic grounded, right? I'm a super hyperactive grounded personality. When it comes to grounding for a session, I kind of have this little mantra that I do, and it's just a quick thing for me. I know mediums, when they work, they will meditate for like 30 minutes before each session. And I'm like, oh no, just give me like 4 minutes. I'm fine. But here's the thing is, these are also people who mentored and studied under a lot of people where, they would have these other mediums or these other healers teach them like, no, you have to meditate. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I call myself a grassroots medium, right? Like I'm self-taught. I just kind of watched, I used to watch Long Island Media. I don't know if did I ever tell you this was how I practiced.
I remember this.
Yeah. So I used to watch Long Island Medium and I would pause the show when they would show the two or the people who were going to be coming on having the reading. And I would pause it and then I would just sit there and start writing everything I got. Oh, the dad passed from the heart, da, 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 da. And then I would hit play and see what I would get right from channeling. Right. And so it was one of those like that I taught myself how to channel and I worked in spirit circles, but I really didn't start going to classes and formal classes really until like the last few years. Not just because they're expensive if you get with a good, legitimate practitioner, but also I just didn't have the capacity or the time until the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And so to that, when it comes to grounding, I'll teach you all my mantra because it could be helpful for some people. But for me, when I'm getting ready to sit with a session or sit with a client, whether it's phone, Zoom, or in person, it doesn't matter to me. It's all the same energy. And so I'll just say, Spirit, please come through and remove all of my personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions so that I can give the best reading possible to blah, whatever my client's name is. And that's all I do to ground.
I can't write that fast. Spirit,
I talk fast. So Spirit,
please come through.
Please clear all of my personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Thank you.
And that way I can give the best reading possible to whoever my client is. And that's literally been my simple little mantra. It works for me. I'm not saying that works for everyone. Some folks really might need 30 minutes to ground and release the day. I used to be more so that way when I first started doing this, because if I had a bad day at work, boss made me mad, something of that nature, I had a really hard time being able to channel because I was in such a low vibrational space and spirit sits up here and I was having to bridge too much of a gap. So if I had a bad day, I just would reschedule clients and I would let them know, look, I had a real rough day. I'm not going to be able to give you the same quality reading. Now that I've been doing this as long as I have and I've had enough practice, I'm pretty good at shutting off the real world so that I can focus because I do not like to reschedule on clients ever. So to that point, grounding is really important, especially if you're a newbie, in my experience.
It's all right. I got to get another piece of paper over here.
No, you're fine.
Chelsea?
Yep.
Karen Berry would like to know if her house is going to sell. She wants to move.
And what's her name? Karen what?
Karen Berry. Perfect.
Okay. So the first thing I heard... And this is funny when spirit will like show me movies, but they literally showed me Karate Kid and Patience Grasshopper was what I heard. Okay. Now with that, where I'm going is that there's a timing issue that's at play here. So sometimes when we want something, spirit's like, hey, we'd love to get that to you, but we got to put a pin in it for like 6 months, or we got to revisit this down the road. The reason with the house situation is I'm being told that there's like a number issue in mind. And what I mean by numbers is if you're trying to get to, let's say we want to sell our house for 400,000. If we shoot for that right now, maybe we're going to fall short at like 375. But if we wait till maybe closer to summer when it's warmer, we have more opportunity on the market. Maybe we get into a bidding war to where we get closer to that number. So I don't know if numbers are your concern with this, but that's what I'm being told is don't panic. The timing is going to take maybe a little bit longer than we're hoping, but not by like months and years. We're talking like maybe a month or two longer on the market than we want. But I am being told stick to your numbers. So if someone comes at you in low balls, no, don't. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but they're telling me you're not desperate yet.
Not desperate, Karen. Kiwisi would like to know, would like to hear from his father, please.
Okay, give me a second here. So, two things. The first thing that popped up, and I'd be super curious. Oh wow, today's the anniversary even. Wild. Okay. So my first question is that, are you a junior? Are you named after him? Or is there someone else? Because the first thing your father stepped forward with is he showed me my sign for like name being passed down in the family. And that can either be that you or someone else in the family are a junior, or someone else in the family would have named a child after him, whether it be before or after his passing. That was just one of the things he came through with. So I'm hoping you can validate that. The other thing too is that your father snapped his fingers, which is my sign for either passed unexpectedly or passed suddenly. I'll be honest, I don't know if this feels unexpected, but it certainly feels quick, and it certainly feels like we were not prepared for his passing. And so with that, he also, I don't know where the head comes in, but I get like a chest, like I go to the chest and then I go to the head. So again, I don't know if he would have had either an aneurysm, stroke, Alzheimer's, dementia, or if he would have had either a heart issue or an aneurysm that would have either went to the head, something like that. But it's interesting that I'm being taken to like both places. And maybe he had a heart attack and had Alzheimer's or dementia. No juniors, your brother's named after your dad. That's perfect. That's all I needed to see. He just wanted to validate someone in the family was named after him. And so, but I'd be curious if you can validate the chest and the head connection with him as well. The other thing too is that would there be, and I don't know why I feel like there's more than that though, but I'm going to go with it. Would we understand where there's 2 new kids in the family, like 2 new grandchildren that would have come in since his passing? And if there's been more than that, sometimes spirit will call out like 2 specific ones because maybe they're struggling or maybe they had a birthday coming or something. But I feel like we're trying to hone in on like 2 individuals that would have come earthside. And so I'm kind of curious with that as well. When it comes to, and he also talks about too, he covers my mouth, which is my sign for either unable to say goodbye or unable to say goodbye the way that you wanted to. And so your sister had twins. There's the 2 kids. Got it. Oh, thank you for that validation. He's just acknowledging, pass along to your sister that he knows about the kids. Okay. And that even though he didn't get to physically hold them here, that he would have a connection with them on the other side spiritually before they even made it earthside. So he wants to validate that. Going back to what I was saying though with dad and the not being able to say goodbye, he does say that even though things were not ideal or things didn't end the way that we wanted to, that he is safe and at peace. And so to that point, and I'm going to say this too, he also says you talk out loud to him and he hears it. So, because some people just talk in their head, he's being very specific that you do it out loud. I'm not saying you don't also do it in your head. He just wants to call out and acknowledge the verbal acknowledge and communication that you give him. Please keep doing that because it lets him feel more involved in your life and kind of what's going on. And so to that, I always tell folks like, I think that Western civilization teaches us that we just float off to a little cloud and there's a gate and they let us in or they don't, right? And I don't necessarily abide by that. I don't think that we just float off to a cloud and hang out there. I think that we still check out our loved ones. We travel, we go to and fro. We experience life through the eyes of our loved ones and through others. And so to that point, he just wants to let you know, keep doing the celebrations, keep doing the traveling, keep doing the things. He's living vicariously through you. So don't ever feel like, gosh, I wish they could have experienced this, or I wish they'd been there for that. They absolutely are. We just have to give them the platform to make their presence known, show us those signs or symbols so that we feel a stronger connection between us and our loved ones.
I think gratitude helps too.
Oh,
and recognition.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They love to be recognized. Think about it, right? If you put a ton of energy into running a marathon and no one at the end was clapping for you, unless you love running, which I don't run, never. So maybe to a pastry shop, but that's about it.
I love running.
But the thing with running, right, is that if no one's clapping for you at the end, and was part of your goal was to be supported, maybe you're not going to do it as often, right? Same thing with your loved ones. If they're throwing signs and symbols at you and trying to get your attention and you're just in the airport and all these signs are going over your head, then they're going to go to other people or other loved ones that are recognizing their efforts and are giving credit to the information that they're trying to get out there, signs, symbols, information, what have you. So
when I walked through the door after coming home from the hospital, I just lifted up my arms and screamed like 3 times, I'm home.
Exactly.
They knew I was there, but I was telling them I'm home.
Yeah.
Coffee Creek would like to know when they'll find work.
Hold on. I got to start a new page.
I know. I've got so many pages going on over here. And thank you for the specific questions.
Thank you. Okay. So here's the deal with the new work. A couple of things. The first thing that I'm picking up on with this situation is I'm being told that the path you are currently heading is not the direction you should be going, right? So let's say you're going to med school, and I'll give an example. Years and years and years ago, I was in the process of getting ready to go to med school, and I had so many barriers to entry. I had so many hoops I was trying to jump through, and it just led me to a bunch of dead ends. And then I had an opportunity to take a different job that kind of took me down a different path, more of like the management business field. And once I was there, I fell in love, completely changed my major. And now I have the opportunity to be able to teach management to students, right? And I absolutely love what I do, but I would have never gone down the path I needed to go down if I pushed really hard to stay on this other path. So one of the things that I tell folks is, if we keep finding we have like these barriers to entry or we keep hitting these roadblocks, it's usually Spirit's way of saying, hey, pause. Is this really the direction that you need to go? Now, as far as you finding new work, I think you could find it quickly. And to me, quickly is in the next month or so. But again, I feel like it depends on the situation if you're following more of what you're aligned to do, or if we're going down the path that we've been currently on. I do think we need to change up our direction just a teensy bit. I'm not saying go from like real estate to a dental assistant or anything crazy. It just may be where we need to reshift our focus just a little bit. And I hope that makes sense. And sometimes doing like a numerology reading helps with that. At least I tend to find that they bring a lot of clarity to what you should be doing if you don't feel like you're on the right path or doing what you need to be.
And I'm going to tell you, if you didn't know this, Chelsea has all of her readings on sale, $50 off if you type in the word ghost on her website. So that's pretty cool. And she has a variety on her menu. You can choose so many different things.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you honor more than one coupon per?
Yep. So if someone was like, I want a psychic session, a mediumship, and a numerology reading, great. Book all three. The coupon code does expire May 1st. You don't have to meet with me by May 1st. You just have to use the coupon code by May 1st.
Okay. Very cool. Okay. Sherry McAllister would love to connect with her son.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
That's a hard loss, Sherry.
Now,
child.
Sherry, I have to say though, would this son have been an adult or would he be an adult age now? Because when he comes in, he doesn't come in as a little child to me. He comes into me standing at your side, which sometimes can either mean they would have been an adult child, or that maybe, let's say they were 6 when they passed and that it's been 10 years. So now they would be older and look at you as more of like a friend or contemporary. So I'd be curious about that. The other thing too is that he does allude to that his passing was sudden or unexpected in nature. And I don't know if you can validate that for me really quickly. I don't feel though that he would have been at fault for his passing. And for me, meaning that not a suicide, not something of that nature. This is something along the lines of either whether it be like a health issue, car accident, something like that would have taken it. So I'm hoping that makes sense. He was 24. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Cause I just felt like he would have been an adult, not like a little kid when he passed. The other thing too is that when it comes, oh goodness, point to this.
24.
Where's the tattoo come in memory of your son? Who would have either gotten tattoos or who's considering or thinking about getting a tattoo for him? The other thing as well is he showed me the number 6, which is my sign for either month of June. Maybe he's been gone 6 years, 6 months, or if the 6th of a month would have importance with him. So, okay. With the car accident though, okay, so thank you for validating that. If he passed from the car accident, he would not have been at fault, correct? Meaning like either someone hit him or he was driving along and a drunk driver hit him. He's just not accepting any accountability for his passing. And so I'm hoping that makes sense. You have the tattoo in memory of him. Perfect. Please know that he knows about that. He wouldn't have brought it up if he didn't. Okay. So that's one of the things that he wants to validate. He knows about. I am curious about that 6 connection. He died in June. Perfect. Thank you for that validation, Sherry. Great. The other thing too is that I have to ask, did we like It feels more than that. So sometimes when people pass in a car accident, right, we'll go and put like flowers at the site of where the passing was, or we'll put like a cross there. He showed me my sign for that, but there would have been an additional tribute done for him. He was hit by a drunk driver.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Yeah, he wasn't taking accountability for his passing at all. Now, here's the other, but going back to this though, I realize some people do put like markers on the side of the road. This is not where he's going with that. Even if you did that, he alludes to there'd be another that we did for him. And sometimes that can be putting in a park bench, donating to a certain like research, or something like that, making a donation in their name. But he's acknowledging a tribute, and tributes to me are not a funeral and not a celebration of life. This is something different, whether it's again a plaque on the wall, making a donation, doing a cancer walk. I realize this, he didn't pass from cancer, but you know where I'm going with this. So where would we understand that tribute? Because he just wants to say thank you for the tribute. The other thing to Mark Mac, who would be the MR name? And it feels like it could be Mark, but I'm almost hearing like a K. I don't know, but there's a one syllable M name in connection to either him, whether on the other side or here in the physical world as well. So I'm kind of curious. I feel like it's Mark. I feel like I just need to Mark or Marcus. But I'd be really curious about who that is. Try to get a road sign. Okay. All right. I'm going to throw this out there. Okay, Sherry. Even if you were not able to make that happen, he just wants to validate it, that he knows that you tried to do that in his honor. He's not sad or upset that it didn't come to fruition. And I'm going to be quite honest. This sounds weird to say, but I almost feel like, I feel terrible saying this, but I'm going to say it. I almost feel like the wife made his passing about her. Right? Like, even though you lost a child, and again, not to say she's not deeply grieving, because losing a spouse is awful, right? But that's kind of what I feel like, is I almost feel like she tried to make the passing about herself. And so if it wasn't either her idea, or if she wasn't on board with it, she tried to put a kibosh to it. And so to that point, your last name, McAllister, no, Spirit wouldn't bring up information I could see. Like, I can read your name on here. They're not going to bring that up. So I'm curious, like, where I feel like there's a mark somewhere, whether alive or here. Maybe it was a friend of his, something, but I'm going to leave it if it doesn't resonate. Could also be another spirit trying to come through, but it feels like Mark. The other thing too is that where I want to finish this up real quick is, when it comes to her making the passing about her, meaning the wife, making your son's passing about her, he says he's sorry about that. But then he also kind of had like this little smirk, and he's like, but this shouldn't surprise anyone. So I feel like her personality, maybe this is how she is all the time, is make things about her, but he's apologizing for that. And he's sorry that you have to go through that. Fair enough. Okay. Does he know his 1-year-old that was with him is safe? Yes. And I'll be quite on. Oh, wow. I just got chills. I don't get this very often in readings, but sometimes what'll happen is I will be shown like a checkbox. And so when I see 2 different check boxes, I see one that says him, and I see one that says child. And so when he was in the process of passing, he had to make a choice to sacrifice himself so that his child could live.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So I saw his name checked as the one to make the sacrifice so that the child could live. Okay. So please know that he is absolutely aware that that child survived, because he was the one who had to make that sacrifice. And so to that point, this, and I have to ask, is it a daughter? Because I'm curious. But to that point, I want to make sure that he's aware of that. He knows that that child is okay. And I do see my sign for like watching out for that kid, not to say that he's not checking in on other family members or checking in on other people in the family or friends or things of that nature. But to that, he knows, he thanks you for taking care of his child and checking in on that as well.
Okay. Gosh, Chelsea, quit making us cry.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I had someone ask me that the other day. They're like, what do you do for a living? I was like, I make people cry.
Yeah, well, you made me cry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I cry about everything. Arnie Layton would like to connect with Mary Ann. She passed 4 years ago, and yesterday was their anniversary.
Oh, okay. I'm curious who Marianne is, because this doesn't feel like a mom to me, nor does
No,
this feel like a grandmother or anything like that. This feels more like either a friend or sister is kind of how I view this, or how it comes in to
I
me.
think
So I
it's more of a
just,
love interest.
oh, okay. And that's okay, because a love interest would come in at their side as well, right? Because spouses come in that way, friends come in that way. So I just needed to understand where they would have presented like that. Okay. Now, the other thing is that would you be able to validate, did Marianne pass from cancer? Because I do feel like that this would have impacted multiple body parts again. And I'm even going to go as far as saying, like, I don't know if this would have been like a female related cancer or a female related issue, but that's kind of how I see it. Fiance. Perfect. And we'll take
Yeah,
it.
he
Okay.
hasn't said about the cancer.
Okay. If it was, it may not be from cancer, but I just feel like this situation feels to me like it would have
Oh,
been quick.
died in the hospital when COVID was going on.
Got it. Because I was going to say, I just felt like lots of body parts lighten up. So I wasn't sure what was going on there. The other thing too is that, did they switched? Oh, I don't know what that means. Would you understand where they either made a lot of switches to Marianne's treatment, or like whether they were giving her because this is what I'm seeing my sign for is when I see like whack-a-mole, like the game at Chuck E. Cheese, right? Almost like they were chasing symptoms as opposed to the actual problem or the root issue. And so I feel like they would have either changed either treatments several times, but to where we didn't really, more or less, because they kept changing their mind, it would have impacted their passing. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying malpractice. I don't want to necessarily go that far down, but because they didn't have an understanding of what they were dealing with, I feel like they made too many decisions and none of them were the right one. And so with that, I do want to say that she is okay. She is safe and at peace. And did you still keep an article of her clothing? And I'm even going to go, okay, I feel like she's showing me something else too. So article of clothing, whether it be shirt, something like that. I feel like it's something we would have slept with for a while after her passing, but we have since put it away. So maybe we kept it and it still sits in a box, but I'm seeing my sign for like we would have either kept it like and either worn it or slept with it to kind of keep that connection, but we've since either retired it or we've put it away. I'm hoping that makes sense. The other thing too, with her and talking about treatment is she just makes me feel like we did the best we could with what we were working with, even if it was not the outcome that we desired, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Killed her, many others. Yeah. I just feel like they were trying so hard to figure it out, but it was all the wrong directions, right? Because when I see people going like, oh, her last shirt, so you can smell her perfume. Perfect. So she's just validating that she knows that you did that. Okay. The other thing too is that I have to ask, did you carry or keep her license? Or do you still have it and carry it in your wallet? Because whenever I see like a license being tucked into a pocket, it means that we either kept it or we still continue to carry it. I wasn't going to use the word murder, but yes, I can see where there would have been negligence involved because of the fact that they weren't chasing answers. They were just trying to do Band-Aid solutions that weren't adding up. And so I'm going to say this much though, Arnie, is she does not want you to carry around the anger and the heaviness that you're still carrying for her. She's in a place of peace and acceptance when it comes to her passing. Was it too soon? Would she have wanted her dream wedding with you? Absolutely. She says, but at the same time, seeing you walk through the world, because this is what she shows me, is that when she was in your life, your world was in full color, and that since her passing, your whole world's been black and white. And so to that, she wants you to get back to a world that has color in it. And that's not something that happens overnight, right? But it takes the ability to find the joy, find the little things, even if it's for 5 minutes a day to find that joy. It's really challenging for us to be able to move forward and get out of the black and white and find color again if we refuse to allow it. Because some people go, nope, I'm going to grieve and be sad the rest of my life. I absolutely have clients like that. And you're entitled to. But she wants you to let go of some of that. I have albums of places she made. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back to it. Even if you don't have her license, she's showing me my sign for like we would still carry a picture of her either in our wallet or maybe we have it at work on our desk. But this would be something where I'm not even gonna say at the desk. It really feels like we would still carry it with us because I keep seeing a photo being tucked into like a pocket or into a wallet. So I'd be really curious if there's any that you still carry around. Okay, but to that point though. I realized that Rome wasn't built in a day. You working through the frustration. She just does not want you to be angry anymore. And to be able to find the understanding, even in the senseless situation. I often tell people there is sense in the senselessness, but sometimes it takes us a decade to have that understanding. And so that's where like, I kind of live my life as, you know what, like I'm going to love hard. I'm going to play hard. And if there's a situation that I encounter that's maybe a tragedy or unfortunate, I always tell folks, if it doesn't make sense now, it will eventually, right? We're supposed to take away from all of these experiences, good, bad, and the ugly. And if we don't, then we get to repeat this life and do it all over again until we learn that.
No freaking way.
Yep. So learn it.
I'm getting done. Are you kidding me? No freaking way. I'm not coming back.
Yep.
I told you Chelsea's amazing. I'll have her back. Please know that she has a discount coupon and it's Ghost. So go onto her website. It is $50 off each and every one. So you can book multiple things with her. And now it's time. So am I, Kim. I have love from Bono. So Kelly, if we can bring up my husband, because my husband admonished me a little bit today.
Uh-oh.
I know he was a little stinker.
But also that shouldn't be terribly surprising to you.
Well, while Kelly gets the picture, let me know. I'll let you know. Well, when I was in the hospital for 3 days. I was not in tune to my heavenly team. I wasn't. I was being poked and prodded and all this other stuff. And then when I finally felt Carl, it was like, it's about time. Okay, so I'm going to give you love from Bono. You just have to remember what he looks like. He says, I'm here. Don't doubt me. Oh, here he comes. All your loved ones are here and they embrace you with love. Don't doubt. Be open, my friends. We are just a thought away. So please know that your loved ones are with you. They hear you. They see you. And they love you. And they want you to be happy. And I'm going to tell you when I lost
myself.
What, Chelsea?
I said I couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, thank you. Well, and when I lost Carl, it's going on 6 years now. It was 4 years before I finally felt happy, where I wasn't pretending that I was happy. It took 4 years. And, another friend, it took her 7 years before she could come out of it. So It just takes a while. Anyway, we love you. Chelsea's awesome. And I know you want her to come back.
Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to come back and play.
We'll get you on a Saturday, okay?
Sure.
we can do during the summer, though.
Yep. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'll have way more free time in the summer.
Okay, sorry we went over, and love all of you guys. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Always, Chelsea. You're just great. You really are.
I'm just me.
And I wouldn't keep having you back.
I work for spirit. I'm just me.
Yeah, I'm going to go get some tea, Mish. I need to get some tea, some hot liquid on my throat. Yeah.
You need it. Go take care of yourself, my dear.
I am. Kelly, are you going to undo us?